you ever wondered where your tips go? Like, we're all known for giving back, lending a helping hand, and doing whatever we can possible to just like help out. That being said, don't you often wonder where your money goes, the authenticity of the donations, tipping systems, and contributions, and do you want to seek answers, whether or not it's legit?
And with a shift to e-wallets and cashless payments, consumers are more likely to electronically tip or via bank transfer. So you're less likely to have cash in hand, you're more likely to add a tip when you're paying for something at the end, or you can say, hey, can I add a tip, and you do it. Hence, if you're wondering what happens when you tip a delivery driver through on-demand food delivery apps, then we have the lowdown from Talabat. They shed light on the tipping system and affirmed that riders actually get 100% of their tips, of course, and it's if you donate the tip on the app, it goes 100% into them.
So the spokesperson for the online food order company elaborated that the most recent update that they have ensures that all the tips go directly to the drivers. This is through the rider app wallet on the same day, which provides full visibility on how much money is basically going from the customers to the delivery drivers. And I love the visibility of this.
Yeah, but it's a very strong question to ask,
100%.
right? Because it's a question that we probably should be checking. If you order from anywhere regularly, ask the driver. For the company that, like, do you get your tips when you do electronically? I think that's the question we need to ask.
Yeah, well, I believe in giving cash instead of like the app. Never, until now, I would have never trusted doing it through the app. So like I give whatever cash I have lying around in a bottle of water, just like obviously we live in Dubai, like
solid.
Right? Like but now that you have answers, like I've always grown up thinking like, are charities legit? And how can you, if the government's not involved, how do you know the legitimacy of the donation?
Yeah. Well, I think they do these like transparency reports on big organizations, and then all the charities here are obviously regulated by the government, so you can ensure that they are transparent. But the tipping one, you're in water right now to have it at the door 100%. Cash on hand, like I realized recently, actually since I read this story, it got me thinking about the tips that I give. A place that I will regularly tip is a salon. I always tip in the salon, and I've gone to a new salon recently, and I happen to have cash in my bag, which I never do. It I was like, here's 10 dirham, and they're like, oh, we can't accept. And I was like, thinking, oh, they can't accept tips at all. And then I was like, but just take it. And then I was like, just please take it. And they were like, no, ma'am. And then they pointed at the sign, and it was like, we don't accept cash tips. We only accept electronic tips. So I was like, fine, I'll do it through my card. Never thought about the fact that it may not fully go to the person who's doing my nails.
Exactly. Like,
yeah.
I'll just like give it underneath. I don't know, give it to them at a point where they're.
But you don't want to get them in trouble either.
How are you going to get them in trouble because someone else is like helping you out? Like, I don't like the concept of you trying to tip one specific person for an amazing job and everything that they do, and then it goes to somewhere else. Like, I don't know. Well,
then you have to think about restaurants, because usually when the tips, it goes to front and back of house. Because if you're just tipping one person at a restaurant, is that fair to, like, you're actually probably tipping the amazing service, which, yes, it's the host, but it's also running like clockwork because the 5 people behind them. So that's why restaurants usually put it into a big pot. But if you really like your nails, shout out.
What's your name? Who are you shouting out?
I've only been to her twice, but she's doing a really good job.
She's amazing.
Yeah, so I think restaurants do the whole thing, so.
Oh, no. Honestly, I'm happy just giving cash. But good point about the restaurants. I actually never thought about that. I just thought, like, the people who serve you and waiters get paid less than anyone else in the restaurant, which is why they'd be a priority. But we'd have to look into that.
I like the water. And I'm going to now ask my salon and ask the lady who's doing my nails, does she get the tip that I specifically directed to her? You know, it wasn't like, you're like, okay, can you give this to Sheila? And then they accept it, but they don't tell you where it's going. So it's a good question to ask.
And then Cassandra takes it.
Cassandra, we see you.
God damn, Cassandra.
Guys, jumping to our next story, how could we not talk about the weather?